Hello, once again, welcome to my YouTube channel, Rightcareers, www.youtube.com/rightcareers, and it's a one-stop solution for all career needs and career solutions. And in case you haven't subscribed to my channel, go down and click on the subscription button and hit the bell button so that you get all the instant notification, all the notifications instantly. Right. So before we get on to this week's topic, I thought I should spend a minute or so about the current inflation, because there is a relation to what I'm going to speak today and with inflation. Now we see inflation everywhere, right? Right from the pulses, right from the vegetables forms a very high inflation these days. We know how much a tomato or potato costs today. Right from vegetables, pulses, oil to fuel. Yes, fuels have also been, the inflation of the price rise of fuel have also been skyrocketing. So it's basically inflation everywhere. And there is also inflation in marks. Why to spare marks alone? So marks also has seen a lot of inflation. Let me go back to that 1960s, 70s, where I used to listen to from my parents and all my families and friends that you score 60% in 1950 or 60 or 70. They used to call a word called distinction when you score 75%, right? 75 or 70. So, 60% was considered to be first class, and then 75% used to be considered as distinction. Now, if you score a distinction, you have achieved a lot. So, scoring 60% those days were considered to be great. Slightly moving forward, when I studied, scoring 80% was considered to be a benchmark. If you score 80%, you will get seat in the college of your choice. You will also get in the right course that you want to study in the college of your choice. 2010, the situation slightly changed. From 80%, the CBSE topper of class 12 in 2010 was 98%. That student took 98%, and he was the topper of class 12 in CBSE. 98%. Now, if you think that's unbelievable, the recent CBSE result that came a couple of months ago, that's 2020, the CBSE topper has taken 100%. 100%. Now, from 98% in 2010 to say 100% in 2020, it's an increase by 2%. You might ask me what's big in this. But if you have to take the 2% increase, it means that student should have scored 10 more marks in all the subjects put together, which means he has scored a perfect 100 in all 5 subjects. Now, when I studied, or rather when you studied, some of the parents or teachers who were watching this studied, I'm sure there were only 2 centum scoring subjects, mathematics and science. These are the subjects where students used to frequently or commonly score centums in 10th standard or even in 12th standard. Now, these days I see a huge change in centum scoring pattern. People score centum in theoretical subjects like commerce. People score centum in English. People score centum in the second language, be it Hindi or Tamil, or even, people used to take French or Sanskrit to score 100, right? But those days are over. People still score 100 in Hindi and Tamil. Why there is a need for you to study some other language to score a 100? No. So people are scoring hundreds everywhere. Left, right, center, I should say. People have been scoring hundreds. Now, another statistics which I'm going to talk about, it's a mind-boggling statistics which you need to patiently listen. The percentage of students, just listen to this. I'm only talking for the last 5 years. In 2016 to 2020, the percentage of students who have scored above 95 in all subjects, 95% and above, has increased up to 325 times, which means, I just can't digest it. That's why I'm taken up by awe. I'm taken myself a huge surprise, and I'm sure people who are watching will also be in for a state of shock, I should say. I'll just repeat this once again for you. From the last 5 years, the number of students who have scored above 95% has grown by 325%. That's a huge number, which means if your son or daughter has scored 95% in class 12, he or she is competing with 36,000 students after scoring 95%. Now, what does this mean? If you still think this is only restricted to class 12 or class 10, no. This is the Hindu dated September 12. It says 24 candidates score a perfect 100 in JEE main. In the recently released JEE main, 24 students have scored a perfect 10. Imagine how many would have scored 99, how many would have scored 98, 97. It's very difficult. Now, that is exactly the topic. The topic for this week is with the rising inflation in marks, especially in class 10, 11 and 12. And it's an unreal inflation. It is not a real inflation, it is an unreal inflation, but it is a truth. In this situation, as a student, how would you stand apart? How would you differentiate yourself from others to secure the college and course of your choice? Now, imagine, I'm not saying you should, not scoring mark is not even a parameter. The parameter is you have to score that mark. You have to score 90, 91, 92, 93, whatever it is. You have to score that mark, and other things being equal, how will you secure admission into the course of your choice? Now, what is this course of your choice? I'll tell you an example. I'll go back to a small case study. It's very recent case study. I live in Chennai, and one of the students approached me a couple of months back. He scored 96% in class 12 examinations, and it is a commerce group. Commerce, accountancy, business, mathematics and economics. He has scored 96%. So he wanted to pursue BCom. Now he applied in a couple of good reputed age-old institutes in Chennai, BCom. Now he got a seat in the college, but what course he got? He applied for BCom. Now if you know or if you don't know, you have to understand that BCom is, when we studied, BCom used to be only one Bachelor of Commerce. Now I will tell you how many BComs have evolved. There is BCom, that's called BCom General. There is something called BCom Corporate Secretaryship. Those days it used to be called as BA Corporate Secretaryship. Now it's BCom Corporate Secretaryship. Then there is BCom Bank Management. Then there is BCom GST. Then there is BCom Business Sciences. Then there is BCom in Computer Science. BCom General, BCom GST, BCom Banking, BCom Computer Science, BCom Business Studies. Now this person who scored 96% got in BCom Computer Science. Now he was never a computer science student, and he was never interested in pursuing BCom in Computer Science. He took it up primarily because he wanted that college, that particular college he wanted, but he never got the course of his choice. If college of choice is important, course of choice is equally important, right? So in this situation, after scoring heavily, after scoring 95, 96%, what you should do to differentiate yourself and catch the eyeballs of admission directors. That's the topic that I have taken, right? Now, once again, before we get on to what are the points that we need to ponder, let me once again reiterate the fact. The fact remains that marks today are not a selector, it is an eliminator. Mind it, marks are not a selector. If you score 95%, it doesn't mean that you have selected. No, it is an eliminator. If you don't score, you get eliminated. If you score, you are put in a pool where you are pooled along with 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100. All remains the same, right? So marks are from now on will be eliminator. In fact, if you know, 3 days back, Honorable Prime Minister Mr. Modi conducted a governors workshop and had a panel discussion about how the execution and implementation of national education policy. In this meeting, he made it a point that marks are really creating a stress among students, and he indicated that in the decade or in 5-6 years to come from now on, slowly we might move away from the marks as an evaluation system, or marks as the only evaluation system. So there will be multiple things other than the marks that will come into effect for a student to get into a right college and right course of their choice. It's a welcome trend, I should say. Right. Now, what are those factors that will make you stand out even after scoring those marks? I have taken 6 points. So, listen to these 6 points. It's not rocket science. These are very, very simple 6 points, so that you make your resume or you make your case very, very strong among the college and the admissions director. The first is, these days colleges also follow group discussion. College look group discussion as a very serious admission process. Now, group discussion was always a serious admission process at PG level, at postgraduate level, especially when it comes to management education. If you are planning to pursue MBA or PGDM, group discussion was always a part of the admission process. It is slowly now moving to the undergraduate level itself. I still remember my group discussion when I applied for my PG. It was India Shining. Those days, India Shining was a huge campaign that was portrayed, right? So India Shining was my GD topic. But now group discussion could be in different topics. It could be in current situation. It could be any topic. Now group discussion helps the admission directors to evaluate your knowledge, evaluate your leadership skill, evaluate your ability to work in team. More about group discussion we will see at later stage. We will separately put a video on how to crack group discussions, right? One was group discussion. Two was personal interviews. Once again, a common factor when it comes to postgraduate admissions. Personal interview is nothing but the interview that you make, the interview that you are going to give in the near future to companies and to the corporates. You will now start giving after 12th itself. The interview might post several questions based on academics and non-academics. We will see what are those in a separate video later. So the first was group discussion, second is personal interview. The third one is your co-curricular assessments. Now what is co-curricular assessments? Any co-curricular activity that you have done during the schools will from now on, some of the universities I know take it very, very seriously. The co-curricular activities could be in culturals, it could be in sports, it could be in community service. Community service could be your scouts, guides, NSS, whatever it is, right? NCC, various community service. Colleges do take this very, very seriously these days. Proactive colleges have already started seeing your co-curricular activity. So co-curricular activity is now a differentiator. Group discussion, personal interview, co-curricular activities. Fourth one is very interesting. We call it as SOP. That's the fourth point. What is SOP? SOP is nothing but statement of purpose. Now, your brother or sister who would have applied, in case if they applied to some university in US or UK, they would have undergone this statement of purpose. Statement of purpose is nothing but a statement, as the name itself suggests, statement of purpose. A statement in which you will write about the purpose of your education. What is it you want to study? What is it you are planning to do after this education? And how this course is going to help you shape your career. So you will write a comprehensive, I would say a biodata or letter about what you want to do in life. Some universities in India today have an application form of 50 pages. Can you believe 50 pages of application form? It's nothing but SOP. It will tell about everything and anything that you want to do. So that itself will be a parameter as to what you expect out of this college, what college expects from you. Fourth one is SOP, group discussion, personal interview, your SOP, and then co-curricular assessment. The fifth one is, before we moving on to the fifth point, one small update about SOP. There is a program that's offered by IIM Indore, and it's some integrated management program. Now for this integrated management program, upon completing this 5-year program, you become an alumnus of IIM Indore. It's a proper integrated management program. Now IIM Indore, while giving weightages to different parameters, it gives weightages to the marks, it gives weightages to the entrance test, whatever they conduct, it gives weightages to the group discussion, it also gives weightages to the personal interview, some weightage. It will say, okay, you have taken 80%, okay, I am taking that as a consideration. You have done well in group discussion, I am taking that as a consideration. Similarly, for SOP, IIM Indore gives a weightage of 15%. That's a wobbling number for an undergraduate, aspirant. So SOP is taken very seriously across these days. The fifth point is portfolio. Now, what is portfolio? Portfolio is nothing but, for example, let's come to an example. Assuming that you apply for a fashion design program in NIFT, and you know how difficult NIFT is. There are pool of applicants who will apply, but there are very, very limited number of seats. But to stand out among them, I'm not saying this is NIFT follows this or some college follows this, no. But in case you are very serious about it, try to create a portfolio, your own portfolio. For example, if you are applying for NIFT, you would have done something related to fashion. Create a beautiful collage of that forms your portfolio. Submit it during the interview process. It shows your intent to the admission director that you have already worked on something, right? Then it becomes all the more easy to differentiate you, right? That's fifth point. Finally, leadership at school level. That is also seen very, very seriously these days. Leadership at school level, you will know school pupil leader or assistant school pupil leader, sports leader or cultural leader, house captains. These are looked, other things being equal other than marks, all these are definitely looked these days. So the 6 points that I covered, once again to recap: group discussion, personal interview, statement of purpose, that's SOP, and then leadership at school level, co-curricular assessment, and finally the portfolio, right? So try to follow these 6. Identify, very important thing from a student perspective is you got to identify your strength. See, imagine college will have their own goals. For example, if you have to apply to a particular college, align with the goal of that college. Do some very small research about the college in the website. Align your goals with the goal of the college. Some college will have sports related goals. Some colleges will have cultural related goals. Some colleges will have research oriented goals. And if you're very particular about that particular college you want to join, understand what that college is, understand the goal of that college, and then align your interest, or align the interest of the college with your interest, and then it will be very easy. Now, if you are able to find your interest, if you are able to find your passion, fantastic. If you are unable to, that's where we come in. So if you are really keen on exploring what your strengths are, if you are really keen on exploring what your goals are, how to align yourself with college, do contact us. I've given all my details, below this video. Feel free to text me, WhatsApp me, call me, so that we will work with students like you and then identify, what is good, what is great when it comes to your career. Hope you enjoyed watching this video. Thanks once again. Thank you so much for watching all this video. And in case you like this video, do share. Thank you so much. And until next week, we'll come up with a new video. Take care.